Go. Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Empowering Voices. Today we have a special guest all the way from Hong Kong. Welcome, Prissy. How are you?
I'm fine, Mara. And how are you?
Very well, thank you. Very honored to have you here. My audience knows that we always start our episode with some special word or affirmation. The one we chose today is the one embroidered on this t-shirt that is shining bright. And now we will tell you why shining bright. First of all, I want to tell you something. Prissy is 70. Can you even believe it?
Yes.
She is shining. And tell us.
Thank you.
I want to know why shining bright can resonate with you. I have an answer, but let's see, tell us something about your life where you think today you are shining bright.
Well, I think that I've had a good life, and even though I've been sick for many years, I feel that people have come into my life like angels without wings.
That's amazing.
And in one way or other, they impacted me, impacted my life, and impacted the way I want to do things, the way that I can do them, and given certain gifts that thankfully to my father and my family, I've been able to walk on this journey of acquiring skills and talents and opportunities to do the work that I'm doing right now, which is pet portraits.
Yeah, Prissy is an amazing artist, actually. The one at her back as a background is one of her pieces, in fact. But you got where you are today, not just because it was your dream forever, but you went through several stages. Could you tell us, you started telling me that when you were very young, you were very interested in becoming a vet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I read so many of James Herriot's books.
Mm-hmm.
James Herriot was a vet doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And his books are very humorous and full of interesting episodes that happened on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
And he was working as the farm doctor there. And I wanted to be like James Herriot.
How old were you when you had this dream?
I think I was in Malaysia. They call it like Form 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was before high school.
Okay. And
Yes.
what happened? Why didn't you go on with this dream?
Well, we were under colonial education system in British Malaysia then, and we were after our when we enter high school, we are separated between either the science stream or the art stream.
Mm-hmm.
And only those in the science stream could take up studies like medicine and veterinarian science, whereas I was put in the art stream.
Yeah, so the school chose for you, basically.
Yes, they sorted it out for us when we were very young. So my hopes to become a vet doctor was dashed.
Yeah, but were you upset when that happened? I suppose.
Well, I was I was thinking that, oh, okay, I've got something else to rely on, and that's my art skills.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I can become an artist.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take up something like fashion design,
Mm-hmm.
which is all drawing and colors and
a new world
models.
Opened up for you, because a new world of possibilities.
That did not happen to, because we were too poor to have me sent overseas for fashion design studies.
Yeah, so
well, Malaysia didn't have a fashion design school then.
Yeah, it's a huge investment to send a child abroad to study, of course, because it's not only the tuition fees, but then accommodation and living in another country.
Living, oh yes.
So what happened? Did you have to choose something else?
I ended up doing architecture in Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that architecture is all about drawing, which
It's
I was
not
so
a big
wrong.
surprise.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
It's not drawing. It's a lot of drafting, a lot of line drawings. I like spatial planning. I had no problem with spatial planning, but it was the structures that killed me.
Yeah.
The structures was hard.
Yeah, I mean, you were more the fine arts artist.
Fine arts, yes. So
but nonetheless,
anyway, I graduated, but I got sick in the final year because of sleep deprivation, extreme sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
I just broke down from the exam pressure, the overnight projects where we can't sleep for like 3 days in a row.
Wow. Yeah.
So I just completely broke down in the final year. But then I managed to pass my exams and I ended up with my first. Well, before I worked, I was sick at home for almost 2 years, recuperating from a sickness. And I thought that everyone
would you like to tell us about what it was?
It was a
you
form
called it a chemical imbalance, right?
They call it chemical imbalance, but it's something like mental illness.
Involved.
And the medicine was so strong, I had very bad water retention, and I became big and bloated, and completely obese. And I was so devastated.
Yeah, and you were very young at the end of your studies, so a new phase of your life was starting.
Oh yes, I was actually in the prime of my life.
Yeah,
I mean that's when they say the world is your oyster, you know. But then my oyster was completely shut.
Yeah,
because of my illness.
Yeah, so you had to look after yourself for a couple of years before then start flourishing again.
I have a very supportive family.
That's very good.
I had uncles and aunties, and my parents are very supportive of me. And I was a faith-driven young kid. Even as a young kid, I was very faith-driven. And I thought to myself, I would ask Jesus, "Oh, Jesus, help me! I can't think anymore. You gotta help me." And times of that just passed. The years went by, and I managed to improve a lot. And I landed my first job as an assistant architect to Hong Kong. That was my first job.
Yeah.
After being ill for 3 years.
Yeah.
And that was why I ended up in Hong Kong. And I got married, and then immigrated to the USA, lived in Brooklyn, and went back to school.
Yeah.
At the age of 35. At the age of 35, I went back to school.
That's amazing.
From scratch. From scratch.
But you didn't find fulfilling the work as an architect or in an architect environment.
I didn't like it at all. I didn't feel that it was using my potential.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, but the pay was good.
Yeah. At least,
I didn't like
at least, otherwise, to wake up every morning and go and do something you don't like, it's already hard enough.
You know, Mara, even when someone is faced with good changes, it can still be very hard to make good changes.
Definitely.
It can be very intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, fear is always around the corner because changing of status can be painful, even if on the other side there's something very good. Yeah.
Yes. So even for me to make the change from a good paying job to going back to school, it was very tough.
Yeah, frightening. I believe so, of course.
my parents have to tell me, okay, Priscilla, you got to take this change for once and for all. You got to go for it. If you don't go for it, you never make the change forever.
And you will regret it at some point.
Why
didn't I do it then?
Yes, I never regretted making that change. And the funny thing is, when I went back to school, my classmates were all in the early 20s, and I was 35.
So they were spending time doing what? Partying and
they were partying,
not studying.
They were having fun, they were hanging out. And I was the one serious about homework. And I was the best marks. I had the best marks. My GPA, you know, so GPA, the complete GPA is 4 points. The perfect score is 4 points. I got a 3.88.
Wow.
And
I think when you go back to studying, when you are a bit older, it makes such a huge difference because you see things completely different. And also you are less intimidated by the professors. You are more, you know how to study as well. Because when we start university at 18, we don't really know very well. So that's why many students, they get lost along the way. I feel that because now I have a little dream of doing a PhD, because I gave up to a PhD 15 years ago to follow my husband to Mexico.
I see, you did.
So I'd like to go back and do it. And I'm not intimidated like I was at the time, to be honest. It's just an amazing adventure.
I think the thing with a mature student is that we know what we want. And we aim for that.
Very clear ideas.
So hard work was nothing new to me. And I really learned a lot from art school in New York.
So you studied for a full degree again?
It's an associate's degree. I had to make a choice. I could take a master's degree, which was in museum studies, but I didn't like that. I wanted something hands-on. And the only hands-on art school is when you do an associate's degree and start all afresh. That's when you get all the formal art training. So I tell my friends, don't be scared. If you want to have a formal art training, you have to go from the bottom up.
Yes, definitely. I totally agree.
Yes. And if you want a PhD in art, in philosophical studies, it has nothing much to do with art, drawing, sketching.
No, of course.
Yes.
So when you started studying again, you were fulfilling actually the dream you had when you made the choice of the before architecture, and you couldn't go for the fashion design career, but then you were able to do it finally when you were living in the US.
I graduated and then I pounded the streets of Madison Avenue, Lexington Avenue, Broadway, taking my huge portfolio a lot and wearing high heels. And that's when I did my job as a garment illustrator for garment companies. Like there was a company called Cinema Etoile. It means movie actress. It was a precursor. It was a precursor to Victoria's Secret.
Oh wow!
I did sketching for them for many years. And I still remember the owner, the designer, who's a mature lady who loved my work so much. And she would tell me her life story of how she regretted things that she never did in life. And and we were on very good terms. And I loved the work I did there. And she really regarded me very, very well. And I loved the job working as a garment illustrator. And then I had to go back to Hong Kong.
Oh, no.
But back in Hong Kong.
While you had your dream job.
Oh, yes. I was having a good clientele in New York. And then I had to go back to Hong Kong. because my hubby wanted to do business, help a friend in his business.
Oh,
So I had to follow back.
yeah.
But then back in Hong Kong, I met a lady who owned an American fashion magazine. And I
Oh,
worked for her as a fashion illustrator
for the
for
magazine.
20 years. 20 years. And I love,
Wow. Look,
yes,
I mean, every step you had amazing adventures, and you met
oh
the
yes,
angels you talked about.
yes, the angels that I talked about, they just came out at certain benchmark, certain milestone in my life, an angel would appear.
Mhm,
And I think for those years, I made major changes in my career.
mhm,
First, it was architecture. Then it was architectural perspectivist. I
mhm.
drew perspectives for a client, and then fashion illustration
Yeah,
for 20 years. And then after 20 years, I had to make another major change.
yeah.
By that time, I was 65 years old.
Mhm.
My third career change came at the age of 65.
This is to show that it's never too late, right? We think
I
that
believe,
every choice has to be made when we are 18, and it's not true at all.
yes. I mean, when you're young, you think you have made bad choices. You don't have to fear because life is so long. There's
Mhm.
still chances for you to go back, study something, rediscover yourself,
Yes,
learn more, and there's no end to chances and opportunities for other things in life
yes,
as long as you put your heart in it.
definitely. Yeah, if you have a passion and motivation,
Passion.
you'll
You
get
need a
there.
passion.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. The passion comes first, the drive comes second.
Mhm. I totally
Yes.
agree.
And
So
and
what
and
happened when you were 65? What happened?
well, I love my work as a fashion illustrator, and Jane Singer, she loved my work. But I thought that all I was doing was mainly editorials.
Mhm.
I would like illustrate uh fashion uh like this one.
Wow. Wow, beautiful.
I would do this for an article in her magazine. I would uh I would be given color schemes and the fabrics
Mhm.
and the maybe a dress design, and then I had to sketch the model
Mhm.
from my own memory,
Mhm.
and the pose I had to create the pose,
Okay.
and then I'll come up with a model wearing that outfit, where using those colors, and I love doing it. But then I thought I needed something bigger. I
Okay.
needed something like which is bigger than what I was doing. And
Bigger
then
in what sense?
in the sense that it would help people more
Mhm.
and it would bring joy
Yeah.
to some people seeing my work. It has got to be art. But I
Yeah.
thought, what art should I do? What kind of products?
Mhm.
And then I remember I used to draw pet drawings for friends.
Mhm.
And I remember the joy when they receive
Of
the pet
course.
drawings.
Yeah.
And some of them have lost pets
Mm.
and they suffer pet loss. And it would help them to resolve the grief.
For
And that,
sure.
yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Go for
that's
that.
amazing to give much stronger feelings and also in the having contact with your customer. So
Oh, yes,
feeling that what you put in your art was going through energetically to them, basically.
basically, yes. And I would have a lot of privilege and opportunities to talk, to discuss, to have a conversation with
Mhm.
the clients.
Mm.
And it's a process. Even when they tell me of the stories behind the pets, the bonds between them, it
Yeah,
is a sort of a healing process.
of course.
And when I express all these things as much as I can onto the paper and coming up with a product, they give a double take. They give a double take. Oh,
Of course.
I didn't expect this, Priscilla.
Yeah.
And,
Because I mean, they become, they open their heart to you. So
yes,
you have to translate those strong feelings into something tangible.
Yes, and I appreciate they trust me because they tell me the hurt feelings, and it's not easy to tell a stranger those things.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
I find the same, you know, that I do also bespoke pieces. So a bit, the process is similar for me. I mean, I have my customers who have to tell me their story. They have to open their heart, and then I can translate it into the words and the hand embroidery.
Yes, your work too. Oh, yes, your work is also very inspiring, Mara.
Oh, thank you. So
it really resonates with me.
Oh, thank you. I think in a way, I mean, with different mediums, we do similar. I mean, what we want to offer is strong feelings, strong positive feelings, of course, through art. So in your case, it's painting. My medium is hand embroidery. And I'd like you to show us one of the last pieces you created that I saw a post some days ago. If you can show us, that is, it's beautiful. This smiling.
Let me show this one.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I find that fashion also helped me in pet drawing because I now incorporate fashion into my pet drawings. You see the accessories that they give her?
Yeah, not necessarily are the ones owned by the customer, but you propose them.
I propose to them.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh yes. And I would show them samples of what I've done before, like accessories, and how they would like it adapted, changed to suit themselves.
Yeah.
Yes. And I would get inspiration from like accessories from Cartier, you know, big names like that. And I love chunky accessories.
So you will have how long does it take? How long is the process from the first meeting with your customer till the end product, roughly on average?
I take my own time with it because I like to do something and I leave it alone for about a day or two before I take it back again to take another look at it, to assess it, to correct it, and to alter things. Because artists tend to get blind spots when they look at one art piece for too long.
Yeah, we need to take like the distance. Yeah.
You know, right, Mara, you know, you're an artist, right?
Yeah.
So you need to break away and take a breather and then come back to it.
Yeah.
And
with a fresh mind.
Changes.
Yeah.
You have a new eyes to see after that.
Yeah, you straight away see what works and what doesn't. Right? It's okay.
I'm all right.
Yeah, I mean, you can see straight away what works and what doesn't, basically, when you come back, right? So it's necessary. Amazing. So I just want to remind our people listening that all the contacts to reach out to Priscilla and see her work are in the post, in the bio, on the website. Are you okay?
I take a sip of
water. Sure. Okay.
I'm okay.
That's fine. So, so I mean, everyone can reach out very easily. Your contacts will be everywhere. I'd like to ask you now if there is a word or a quote or a concept that you think it's big support for you, for your why, for what you do.
contest.
A concept or a word or a quote. If you have a favorite word.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fashion illustrator in the 80s, 90s. He's Puerto Rican. His name is Antonio Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
He lived in New York for many years. He's very famous for his illustrations,
Mm-hmm.
and he's my idol.
Oh, yeah.
I love this work.
Yes. Is it a source of inspiration for you?
He's a source of inspiration for me when I was in FIT as an art student, because Antonio Lopez was an alumni at FIT.
Ah, okay. Okay.
And he has lots of original fashion illustrations stored in the main library in FIT. And we'll go there during my break, and I would pour over his paintings, and they were so awe-inspiring. His name is Antonio Lopez. He died young. He died young. Yes. Yeah. It's sad.
That's amazing. So images are definitely a great inspiration. And
yes.
And I suppose he was an inspiration then, but it goes on being an inspiration for
still
you.
Still is an inspiration to me. I still look at his work for inspiration, to get some eureka moments. Yes. Some of my fashion illustrations also are inspired by him. Yes.
That's great. Well, Priscilla, I loved our conversation. I'm sure everyone else did as well. I really thank you for being with us today. It's been a pleasure and an honor. And I just say goodbye for now and see you next week, everyone else. Bye.
Yes, bye. Take care.